Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a hidden force that honestly shapes almost every big decision in our world. We're talking everything from healthcare to climate change. It's called policy framing. And trust me, understanding it is like getting a backstage pass to how things really get done.
All right, let's just jump right in with a big one, rising student debt. I mean, you hear about it all the time, but is it this massive economic crisis that's holding back an entire generation? Or is it really more about the financial choices individuals are making? Now, here's the thing. The facts, the amount of debt, the interest rates, they're the same for everyone looking at them. So why do the debates get so incredibly heated and polarized? Well, it all comes down to the frame. Just look at this. This slide lays out how three totally different frames lead to completely different answers for the exact same problem. If you frame student debt as an economic problem, then yeah, you're going to talk about loan forgiveness to get the economy moving. But if you see it through a social equity frame, the conversation shifts to scholarships and leveling the playing field. And if you use a personal responsibility frame, suddenly the solution is all about financial counseling. Same facts, wildly different paths. And that is the power of framing in a nutshell.
So what exactly is framing then? And let's be really clear about something right up front. This isn't just a fancy word for marketing or, political spin. It's something much, much deeper.
Okay, here's the textbook definition from our source material. Policy framing is basically how we take a super complex, messy issue and make it make sense. It's all about choosing which facts to spotlight, which causes to point to, and which values to tap into, all to shape the issue into a problem that we feel like we can actually do something about.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? A frame is like the blueprint for a building. It literally decides what the problem even is, whose opinions matter, and which tools you're even allowed to use to build a solution. Think about it. If it's not in the blueprint, it's just not getting built, period.
So this is the crucial distinction to remember. Spin is often about deception, right? But framing is about focus. In a world with just an overwhelming amount of information, you have to choose what to highlight to make any sense of an issue. A really good frame brings clarity. It directs our attention to what's most important without twisting the truth.
So before you can even think about building a powerful frame, you've got to know who you're building it for, and maybe who's going to try to knock it down. And that means you have to map out the key players, or as they're often called, the stakeholders.
This right here is a simple, but oh my gosh, incredibly useful tool. It's called a relevance influence diagram. Let's take the example of a city trying to ban plastic bags. You literally map out everyone involved based on two simple things. How much do they care about this, and how much power do they have to change the outcome? So the city council? High interest and high influence. They're a key target. But then you've got your local small businesses. They care a lot, but on their own they don't have much clout. This map tells you exactly who you need to persuade, who you might need to empower, and, frankly, who you need to keep an eye on.
And now, for the main event. You know those three frames for student debt we talked about? Those are just examples of the finished product. Now we're going to give you the whole factory, a really powerful toolkit for looking at any problem from four totally different angles. Think of them like four unique lenses that reveal different parts of the very same picture.
This is Bowman and Deal's four frames model. It gives us four powerful metaphors to get a handle on any complex situation. Is the problem a broken machine that needs a tune-up? Is it a family with unmet needs? A jungle full of competing interests? Or maybe it's a theater that just means a better story. Let's break down how this actually works.
First up, the structural frame. Let's use homelessness as our example here. Through this lens, you think of the city's response system as a machine. If it's not working, the problem isn't bad people, it's a flaw in the machine itself. Are the departments talking to each other? Are the roles clear? The big idea here is that the structural frame is for when you need to fix the how, not the who. The solution might be a new task force to coordinate services. You're basically redesigning the machine so it runs smoothly.
Okay, now let's swap lenses. Let's look through the human resource frame. Here, the city is less like a machine and more like a family. The whole focus shifts to the people involved. Are the social workers completely burned out? Are the people experiencing homelessness getting the specific kind of support they actually need? The key here is that even a perfectly designed machine will fail if the people running it or the people it's supposed to be helping are overlooked. This frame is all about making sure the system fits the people.
Now the political frame. This one sees the city as a jungle, a wild landscape of competing interests. It's not always about what's most efficient or even what's most compassionate. A lot of the time, it's about power. Who has it? You've got business groups, neighborhood associations, advocacy organizations. They're all fighting for their piece of the pie.
The lesson of this frame is that in the jungle, you survive and succeed by building alliances and being ready to negotiate. And finally, we have the symbolic frame. This one views the city as a theater. And what matters most in a theater? The story. Is the public narrative around homelessness one of stigma and fear, or is it a story of hope and collective responsibility? What this frame teaches us is that the story we tell about a problem, the culture we build around it, can be every bit as powerful as any new law or program. So, you've mapped out all the players, you've used the 4 lenses, you've built what you think is a really powerful frame. Now what? I mean, how do you make sure it actually works in the real world? How do you make it travel?
Here are 4 essential tips, straight from our source material. First, be inclusive. You've got to show how your solution helps a whole range of people, not just one group. Second, be concrete. Don't use jargon like increasing efficiency. Talk about real stuff, like money saved or hours freed up. Third, anticipate resistance. Think about people's fears and address them head-on. And finally, and this is a big one, maintain your integrity. A frame that's built on solid facts is a frame that's built to last.
So here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. The next time you're reading a news story or you hear a politician giving a speech, just ask yourself, what's the frame being used here? Which parts of reality are they showing me, and which parts are they leaving out? And maybe the most important question of all, who does this frame actually serve? Because once you start seeing the frames, you can't unsee them. And that is the very first step to really understanding and maybe even changing the world around you.